The A minor pentatonic scale, the second position, position number 2, should sound like this. Now there's something quite interesting about this. This note is actually C. So even though it has the same notes as the A minor pentatonic, hence its name, it doesn't start on the note A. It starts on the second note of the A minor pentatonic. So if you've learned the A minor pentatonic, your second note is the starting note for this one over here. But before we go further, let me teach you the scale, and then we'll tell you a bit about the major implications and all those silly things which are also important to know. But step one, let's focus on learning the scale itself. My fingers are clearly numbered as well, so you can see which fingers to use as a suggestion. I suggest starting with your middle finger, number 2, for this one, because it lets you go to the 7th fret on the next string shortly after that. So your opening 2 notes for the A minor pentatonic position number 2 are 8, 10. Then you go to the 5th string, 7, 10, next string, 7, 10 again, 3rd string from the bottom, 7, 9, and then I'll move my 1st and 3rd fingers forward a fret to the 2nd string for 8 and 10, and I finish off 8 and 10 again. Now yes, I can do this, but the 2nd and 4th finger combination doesn't feel that comfortable for me. So I would, such a small move, I'd be more suggesting and keen to go 1 and 3 fingers, 1 and 3 fingers, 1 and 3. It just feels more natural. So one more time through slowly with me. Watch the finger notes. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's your move. And coming back down the scale, descending it. There you have it. Now, we mentioned the starting on C, and I have seen some texts refer to this as the major pentatonic, the C major pentatonic scale, because basically it's the notes that make up the C major pentatonic scale. So it's position number 2 of the A minor, but could also be seen as the major pentatonic as well. But most books I notice see it as the second position. So let's keep it standard. Okay. Now, once you've learned the scale ascending and descending, in other words, once you can play it through like this, slowly with me. 1, 2, 3, 4. Don't stop on the turnaround. Then I want you to reverse it. But before we go there, let's have a look at the picking hand. If you've watched a few of the videos, you should know what's going to happen now. We're going to talk about alternative picking. And that simply means you go down, up, like that the whole way through. Okay, that was a wrong note. Just seeing if you're paying attention. Okay, let's do it now correctly with all the right notes, and make sure that you got small pick strokes. So it's not this. That's very clumsy, very, very wide. So small strokes, let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4. And once you've got that, we're going to reverse the process. And what we're meaning by the reverse the process is we first learned by ascending and descending, and you'll notice now this is a theme. All the scales that I'm uploading will always feature ascending, descending first, because that's sort of like a general standard for learning the scales, to go up in pitch and back down in pitch. But now we're going to start on the higher note and we're going to reverse the process. So here we go, backwards, forwards. So we're starting with pinky fret number 10. Should sound like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now I started with the pinky there, and that shouldn't be a hassle, but actually I would have preferred to have done finger 3 and 1. So try both just for the fun of it, like I did with pinky 2 and 4, so those two. And then try 3 and 1 and see which works better for you. I still favor 3 and 1 like this. You've got choices, that's what I'm trying to say. Now, this is position number 2, so you say to yourself, well, fine, what happens now if I want to play in the key of let's see, F sharp minor. So F sharp minor, so I play my F sharp note over here, fret number 2, and I'd go through. And I say, well, okay, position number 2, where is it? Now, remember, it starts on the second note of the first position. So you go to that second note. You've obviously learned the scale, position 1. And you're going to start the same scale you learned on this video from the 5th fret. This is A. So for example, in the key of D minor. So D minor would normally be like this. Then you go to the second note, and there's my second position, fret number 13. Now the cool thing with knowing these scales over here is when you want to start joining them, in other words, if I know the scale, which you should have learned from the previous video, and you've learned the scale now, I can join them like this. And I can slide across at any given time. I can go backwards here. And now I've gone from position 2 into position 1. And then I want to maybe reverse it. And now I've gone from position 1 to position 2. So you can sort of merge these scales into each other. So what I want you to realize is that this part is common to this one and to this one. So end of the day, you can cross backwards and forwards, and eventually, if you know all 5 scales, you'll have total freedom all over the guitar neck. But that's for another video on another day. So I hope you've learned position number 2. Now, this is position number 2 of the minor pentatonic, and can also be reviewed as position 1 of the major pentatonic. I know that sounds confusing, so let's just stick with minor pentatonic, position number 2. And that's it. Okay, have a good week. Any questions, please feel free to ask me. We will cover theory at a later stage. Right now, we're just learning our scale shapes. Have a blessed week.